What you have on both screens is an instance of the WebRTC application that ThruPoint has developed. First off, we're going to start off and do what we expect, right? So WebRTC today can do point-to-point browser-to-browser calls. Today, when we look at a technology like WebRTC, we see the value in not only being able to extend communication to a browser, but also being able to have this application be leveraged within a user's current framework, right? So be it in an enterprise, being able to extend their core functionality to an application or an endpoint like this and be able to leverage all the wonders of a WebRTC application, but integrated into their back environment. So one thing you'll see here is Kevin's brought up what we have of integration into a corporate directory. Now, this goes along the story of what David talked about earlier and providing a mashup. WebRTC is great to provide voice and video, but today, users have multiple needs. Everything from directory services to presence to be able to actually now integrate into your voice infrastructure as well as your video and your telepresence. So here we'll start with a basic call to me as a user that's logged in. So here you see presence, I'm available. He clicks to call me, I place the call, and we get two-way video. We've seen this. This is basic functionality today. So right out of the box, that works. Now, what we added in the mashup was great. You got corporate directory, you got presence, you got IM functionality, and we also involved in new elements like shared application. So today when you look at the application, sorry, let me just mute mine. When you look at these applications, when you actually share an application today is rendering the full screen and casting it to the other element. Here we have a common application that's used between the two users, and instead of rendering the whole application, we actually do change events, where now both Kevin and I could actually work on the same application and actually have real-time changes adjusting what values you want. He could move the bottom slider to do interest rates, and I could change my contribution and actually do true collaboration. We could actually have a third person join in and actually enable it into have a three-person functionality. Now take this simple concept and expand it to any use case or any applications you have today, registering those control points within your basic web tool and being able to do true collaboration across your platforms. So from here, Kevin's going to show you how a lot of the discussion in the panel earlier was, what about SIP? What about integrating into legacy environments? What about leveraging functionality that today enterprises are challenged with? And Kevin will show functionality that addresses that.
So as David mentioned in his keynote this morning, the enterprise already has a great deal of investment in devices like this and also core infrastructure. When you come to WebRTC speaks a lot of very complicated protocols, STUN, ICE, bundling of media, RTCP, multiplexing, for instance. Most of the legacy devices in the world today, you can pass on that SDP, but they simply won't be able to support it. So what we've done here, and so you should be seeing video over there now, yep. So this is an integration from a WebRTC client you're seeing here to an existing Tamberg Cisco endpoint, which Cisco has so graciously provided us. Which is what you should have seen earlier, actually.
Yeah, we'll redo that one if we have time.
So what's happening here is there's a gateway involved, which is both converting the signaling, the existing SDP, from bundled media, from multiplex, from SSRC validation, into simplified SIP SDP, which this device can cope with. But along with that, we're looking at a VP8 video stream there, obviously, because it's Chrome, and that's what we support in WebRTC. Most devices in the enterprise support H.264. So at the same time as we're sorting out the signaling, we're also transcoding the RTP on this laptop from VP8 to H.264. And you can see it's running off my laptop, but the video quality is, reasonably good. Along with that, we have to cope in the RTP stream with stun bindings and all the complexity along with the WebRTC stack, which the RTP proxy is also capable of converting between the two. So the
advantage today, when you look at a solution like this, is the fact that you're not giving users a completely independent, separate technology to use. You're not giving them another modality to play with that has nothing to do with their legacy cell phone, mobile devices that do PSTN termination, like toll-free numbers to access to contact centers, or even being able to leverage telepresence and video endpoints that they spent tremendous amount of money and investment on today. We're able to now take WebRTC, which becomes a huge value add for enterprises to have endpoint modalities without having to put VPN phones, worrying about software downloaded on these devices, and extending true UC to any device that supports WebRTC or browser-enabled device. So now that spans mobile devices, tablets, any PCs. You could go to an internet cafe and dial into your telepresence in your enterprise, or just like going to Best Buy and buying an HP and actually testing it against and making a call to your cell phone to see how the audio quality works. So this is where we see the value in not only providing voice and video, but providing a mashup of all your UC experiences and actually leveraging the tools and functionality that you need today to do your business. So what Kevin has here, well, you could explain why it's...
Okay, so what we're seeing here is a mock-up of a standard storefront page, as you can see, and we're big fans of the live person, as are many people in the industry. So if I start up a live person session here, what I'll get is what live person recommend you do is build your own little chat bubble with JavaScript. Now, what our SDK allows you to do is embed WebRTC into other applications. So the idea of a synthetic application, the idea of a mashup. So here we've got a standard JavaScript chat. Were we running the full live person? Unfortunately, we can't connect out at the moment. But were we running the full live person, you'd get your standard call center functionality. But along with this here, we've used our SDK to have additional functionality of being able to upgrade the chat communication into a video communication. So if I just click here, we can see WebRTC is clicking in, and we're connecting.
Now the use case you got to remember here is live person today works with chat, and it works the way it does today. A user probably has everything from a video device, which could be a regular video phone, a telepresence, their link client, their Jabber client, that's already video enabled and today does not work together with a live meeting experience. Today, using our SDK and being able to leverage a live meeting, we're able to now fuse the use cases where a user could be talking to who I am, asking for help, and we could actually escalate into a pure video and voice conversation right off the browser to actually provide that extended high-level white glove touch to your customers. So now we've taken this to a business process element and actually enhanced the way you do business without changing the whole infrastructure of what you do, the way you work today. So we're able to now extend it to be it your link endpoint, be it a physical endpoint, or even to another WebRTC where a user could be logged into a WebRTC session in parallel with that device. Yeah.
So,
4 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
So, so you're going to do one?
Yeah. Want me to?
Go ahead, it's yours.
Okay, so another aspect of our SDK is to allow you to generate interactive point of sale systems. So as you can see, you're probably familiar with this. If you've ever been to an Apple store, you've seen the point of sale system next to it. So this demonstration shows you that you can take that existing framework, convert it into a web app, which most of us can do anyway, but adding WebRTC means that this experience can be taken out of the Apple store and taken home to the web. So as we would do normally.
Wait, I gotta set mine.
Okay. You've got your different experiences, different pages. These are standard sort of web forms that we'd normally see. However, once John's logged in, all good?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so in the Apple store, if you went to the specialist page, it would pull over a genius to come over and talk to you. However, you're at home on your web page. So if we hit this specialist, that'll teach me. I'll allow it next time. If we hit the specialist, you can see it's going to dial out and connect to John. Now, John is today our Apple genius, and you can see that the experience is exactly the same. Now, our technology also, the app sharing that we were showing you earlier, also supports the idea of co-browsing. So while John is being your genius, he could also manipulate this page and control what the user's seeing based on what they're saying to him across the video link. So I think the key thing is for us that WebRTC isn't just about audio and video. It's another tool in the web developer